I'm here at University of Pacific McGeorge School of Law with Dean Michael Hunter Schwartz, and it's an honor to be here today in multiple respects. One, as an alumni that you'd welcome me back, and then two, for the initiative you've undertaken with McGeorge Law Today. Maybe tell me a little bit of that from your perspective, McGeorge Law Today that just launched today.
So, well, I can't first of all resist acknowledging how excited I am to hang out with an alumnus. So I will also say that for you McGeorge alumni, this is Kevin O'Keefe. He's a class of 82 grad of McGeorge, and for whatever circumstances have thrown us together, we met actually giving a talk at a law school at Southern Illinois University Law School, and we've been staying in touch ever since. And that was like barely when I had started as dean. But in any event, McGeorge Law Today, what I really am always looking for are new ways to support our alumni and faculty and staff. So there's lots of sort of very traditional ways through social media, through mailers to other law schools, but I was really looking for a sort of distinct way to really amplify their voices. And this new platform that we've created with LexBlog is just a spectacular way to do that. So it brings together our blogs and our alumni blogs and faculty blogs and staff blogs and even podcasts and even some stories from our law school website, all in one place to really sort of celebrate and really push forward the achievements of the members of our community. So I'm thrilled. When Kevin brought this to me, I was, wow, I feel so lucky that he's even considering making us the inaugural school to do this.
Well, I remember Southern Illinois. I think we first met in like running clothes in the breakfast place for the hotel. I thought you were the dean of the local law school, and you're saying your law school, McGeorge. We got together over lunch, and I expressed this vision of what it could be like to shine a light on your alumni and how they could be then seen in conjunction with the faculty and what they were publishing and whatnot, and it could be on this network, and people could have profiles. And you're reaching across the table over lunch, and you go, "Do you have that right now?" And I remember thinking, "No, but I'm going to have that. It's not going to be too long." So, launching it for some law firms and bar associations and CEB in California, it's really worked to take, syndicate this copy, bringing it in a funnel. But you're the first law school. And, it was a pleasure to call you up and say, "Michael, what do you think?" And that's a while ago, because we had to figure out how this really can work in a law school setting and an academic setting, and LexBlog, didn't have a big presence in an academic setting. We have some spots where professors are blogging, where students are blogging, the alumni. But this is the first time that a school has basically said, yes, we would like to use your publishing platform for publishing, at our school. So it's a real pleasure. And you had a lot of vision to look across that table over lunch and say, "Hey, do you have that? That would be really something."
Yes, I will confess I am a bit of a new idea addict, so this really appealed to that side of me. And it's just like a great example is one of the things that's sort of being launched simultaneously with this and on the platform is, I guess, what would be called a vlog, a video blog that I am doing where I interview my faculty colleagues about sort of the real world practical implications of their scholarship. And, there's a lot of talk about the ivory tower aspect of academia, and I have to say there is definitely an ivory tower aspect to academia, but what I really want to focus on is what do our faculty do in generating their research that has real world applications, that really is addressing major problems that we need to be thinking about right now as a society. And so one of my early video blogs is with a faculty member who talks about the law surrounding vaccinations and masking, the hot topic of our time. She basically outlines, Professor Leslie Jacobs, our Anthony M. Kennedy chair, outlines the legal and even the constitutional issues surrounding mask mandates and vaccination issues. So for me, this was such an easy decision. I feel like any idiot dean could have made this decision because it just feels like it's such a great opportunity for our faculty, but also for our alumni who are working on building up their careers. Like one of the blogs is from an alum who is a sports agent. And so she does podcasts about various aspects of being an agent for athletes. And for example, one of her latest set of podcasts are all about this new opportunity for professional athletes to take advantage and market their image and their likeness and their athletic accomplishments. And so from an agent perspective, what does that look like in terms of supporting athletes in doing that? And so I'm just excited this stuff's getting out there.
Yeah, and I think what we want to do for you is do everything we can to shine a light on professors like that, so that they're inspired to keep doing great things. Because it's the continuing to do that type of writing and that type of expressing and type of engagement that there's no way it won't build your profile and your reputation. But it takes that inspiration, that atta-girl, that atta-boy along the way. So where you are seen in a publication like this, you feel pretty good about it. The other thing that we are seeing at a pretty good clip is the influence that professors are starting to build up by blogging. And it has gone on for years. I mean, there was a professor at Marquette, that came out to Santa Clara probably 10 years ago on the basis of his blog. But Bill Henderson at IU, just had his blog identified with Library of Congress with an ISN number, and just wrote about that. I think it came out on Sunday, and is excited about the influence it's given him and other professors to write. And behind the scenes, I told him what you guys were doing, and he lauded you for being a forward-thinking person to do that and get it up. So I hope that through the LexBlog Network, we can also shine a light back on the contributors on the blogs and then on the McGeorge Law Today site. So I think it's very cool, and it's an honor to be here, because I'm the kid that drove over first from T Street on his bike, and then from, I don't know, H Street or something, and locked it up in the cage outside of here and walked into campus, as a 21-year-old or
from
something like that.
Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, from Wisconsin. I never even knew. I thought Sacramento was in the foothills in a relatively cool area. I had no idea where it was until I was staying at the Motel 6 by I-80. So to walk onto campus, it looks beautiful. You're doing a great job with the school.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I hope that this really takes it to another, or helps you take it to another level. You got so many great things coming on.
Yeah, we are pretty excited about this. I'm sort of curious to see what it does, and I intend to share it with the entire legal education community, because I'm just so proud of our alumni and our faculty and staff. One of the bloggers we're featuring is a McGeorge alum and a professor who is probably the legal expert in the country on craft beer law.
Yeah.
Which could sound like such a small topic, but then you think, but wait a second, this is a $2 billion a year industry. Each little beer, not much to it. As an industry, it's huge.
Wasn't he at DLA or Proscar?
Yeah.
Before? I mean, so he wants to be here. He's excited to be here as a professor. When I met him, he said, this couldn't be any better. And then wanting to do this craft brew blog and continue to grow his name, I think it's great. And I think those professors are going to draw students here and round out the student population as you guys continue to do a great job, in that regard.
Yeah, we have some. I do an interview with him in a later one of my blog entries, and then I have one from one of my faculty colleagues who is working on an article. It's still in progress on the racial justice implications of factory farming. I just had no idea. She basically outlined like about a dozen different issues that arise out of factory farming. Really important stuff for us as a society to think about.
It's huge, and these niches are where it's at. When you went, like Adam Liptak at the New York Times wrote about it, the amount of, law reviews and law journals are still there, but the amount of times they're being cited has gone like this. But the amount of blogs that are being cited is going like that, and part of the reason is the niches being covered. It'd be tough to cover these niches with one person having such passion and a printing press. at their desk in their office or in their family room.
Yeah.
You have
It's like now we all have that.
we
It
all
really
totally
is.
have it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be on an airplane and I've got a printing press in my hands and I'm reaching people that have an interest in that niche. And it doesn't matter, if you're not reaching 10,000 people. It's those, it could be 20 that have an interest in that subject. So I think it's really going to be interesting as you have academia start to share their passion and to network with others in the field, because they will have a chance to do so. If they're blogging and they reference what other people are writing, they're going to engage those people and meet those people. And then the influence of the professor are going to rise because they're going to be cited. There's a lot going on with machines
Yeah.
determining levels of influence today, more so than I think we ever could have dreamed.
Yes. Sort of scary and awesome at the same time. The role of machines in sort of, I don't even know what the right word is, like almost like curating.
It is curated. We saw about 2 weeks ago with a company called VLEX. It's a huge international company on legal publishing, but they have our entire blog network that we share with them. So if anybody's doing any research or they already know who the people are, they'll start to put up that information. So all of a sudden you open it up, there's Jackson Lewis and their publication on this subject. But what that does with some of the technology companies that are building technology that when you get a brief from the opposite side, you're just basically loading that brief in so it can see what the terms say. It tells you what clauses you may want to use in a brief. It'll also share the research with you that you may want to look at. Well, now it's got secondary law, which is the blogs. So now you have some other lawyers writing on it. You have professors writing on it. You may even want to reach out to them. That was impossible before. Never could be done. But now it's starting to happen with the machines, and they're anticipating what we want to see. So I can't hardly get my mind around that.
Yes, the back and forth of driving traffic in a wide of directions. Because like originally when I was thinking about this vlog, it was really, I want to drive people to read their full law review articles. But
Right.
really, it could be their law review articles drive them to watch the video. It could be that a brief
Anything.
that uses the vlog drives people into their law. It could go in any of these directions.
That's what I found over the years. It used to be, how can I get people to come to read my blog so they can go over and click on that and go to the website to see what we really offer type of thing. And after a while I realized it really doesn't matter. What matters is the reputation that I'm developing, the relationship that I'm developing, and that people know, where I work and that type of thing. And as I work with people on blogging, lawyers, law professors, and tell them it doesn't matter even if they read what you have to say even at your blog. If they read it at LinkedIn because you're sharing it over there and you've got a good sized excerpt, that's okay. If they got the gist of the point that you were sharing and you were the only one doing that, and you're building your reputation and profile as people like it over at LinkedIn. So there's a lot going on. If there's ways we can be helping the alumni or the faculty with any ideas, we're happy to do so. It's a thrill to be here today, to be talking to some of the students and faculty about whatever ideas I can share along the way. All learned by trial and error.
Yes.
And
Why shouldn't we benefit from all your trial and error? It cuts to the chase of it all. You had mentioned, and I would love people to hear about this, that you have partnered already with a number of state bars. I'd be interested in which ones you have, and some big law firms.
yeah, I mean the law firms. We have probably pushing half of the 200 largest in the country. We have well over half of their blogs. The bar associations that are using the same technology that you are, our portal technology, Illinois Bar, New York City Bar, Wisconsin Bar, Arizona Bar. There's other bars. There's there's CEB. I'm thinking, and the fascinating thing is about how those happened. Those all happened via relationships. So, one of the things I want to be able to tell law students and even faculty is the internet is powerful for network building. For me to be in New York and in Madison, Wisconsin, and in both places go on Twitter and say, do you guys meet, wacky legal tech CEOs when they're in town? And in New York, they said almost exclusively. when do you have time tomorrow? And Madison was the same thing. And both of them ended up, relationships where we could use similar technology to what you're doing. Now, what they're doing is to shine a light on the lawyers. So they're doing it in multiple respects. Illinois loves it because they're building a body of law. So what they're realizing is this content that an individual lawyer wrote, let's say to contribute to a family law publication for the bar each year that was updated, well, there might be multiple lawyers now writing on that subject, and it's constantly being refreshed. So if somebody wants to go in and research anything, they can find it. If somebody wants to go in and find a particular lawyer or lawyers to subscribe to, they can do that. If they want to subscribe to a particular subject, they can do that. So to think about the idea that anywhere in the state of Illinois you could subscribe to the information on family law or workers' compensation from lawyers in your states, that's pretty interesting. Some of the other bars are attracted by the idea that there is the gap in access to legal, and there's multiple reasons for that. Not all of which are related to not having the income. People just don't know what lawyers do. Don't have a clue. Well, if I don't even know I have a legal problem, and if I did, why would I go to a lawyer? Because I don't even know what they do. And when you go to the internet, sometimes it's just filled with junk related to law. Now there might be the ability for that lawyer in anywhere in Illinois that writes on domestic abuse, and for a woman to open up her iPhone and to see information there from somebody that cares, and maybe able to reach out to her for what the resources might be in her town. It could be 150 miles away. That's fascinating. And then to be able to use things like Google Local, so that where the lawyer is writing and the person is doing the search start to match up. So there's multiple ways they're using them, Michael. Sorry to be so long-winded on that.
Oh, no, that's super exciting. And it really gets to something that I think is very true, is that people have no idea how a lawyer can help them. So you have someone with a great idea for a startup business. They don't even realize that there are intellectual property issues, form of business issues, leasing issues if they buy, get space for their business, and employment issues. And there are all these things that could prevent the entity from being successful. And if they have access to enough information to know they need to ask, it could change
and the lawyers need to understand where people are on the net, and they need to appreciate that. And they need to appreciate also the speed at which some of the legal technology companies are moving. So they're not to be dismissed. A company like Do Not Pay over in Silicon Valley, incredible what they are doing to help individuals. LegalZoom, it took a long time. Those guys weathered the storm to get to go public, and they did. And they're good people, sharp people. They don't replace lawyers, but I think lawyers need to appreciate that some of these companies have been successful because these companies have gone out where the people are.
Yeah.
And so you can't say, I need to put something up on the internet, hope people see it, and then they come to where I am. It's not the way it works anymore. When AOL changed all that, and that was 20-some years ago, that you went where the people were, their communities. Today it might be on Facebook, it might be their local community. You as a lawyer don't need to say, hey, I'm a lawyer, but you need to be there and mingle with those people. And then maybe they see what you're writing about, that type of thing. I think it's something lost on a lot of lawyers. And I think as law schools, surface that in ways that professors, have the opportunity to understand, the placement people have an opportunity to understand, and then the students see that it's okay. You can do these type of things, and we're all not going to go to Latham at $170,000 a year to start.
Yeah, I'm not sure we all want to do that either. We're not saying about Latham. It's just it's not that particular opportunity is not for everyone.
I was out on that quad, and people said, well, you got to get high grades. And I said, why do I need to get high grades? And they said, well, because you got to get a clerkship. And I said, what do I need a clerkship for? To get in one of the high-rise firms. I said, I don't want to go in I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, but I wasn't sure there. And I ended up in a small firm in Wisconsin. It's a great point you made, because an individual can make their mark even before. I don't think that everybody wants to cheerlead their students out, everywhere across the internet, but there are students that have walked into some great positions, whether in, small town ag law, in Western Washington, larger firm doing, Bitcoin, and because they blogged on it and used Twitter on it, people that got into fashion law at middle-sized firms. It is fascinating to see how could have that ever happened, 10 years ago.
And it makes so much sense when I sort of think about, here we are sitting in a city that says we are the farm to fork capital. Well, you don't get to be the farm to fork capital unless you have a big ag going on just south of you, which is the case. And so for our students who are committed to going back into those communities in Central California, the ability to sort of position themselves to really be of service to the agricultural needs of the needs of the agricultural companies there and the agricultural workers there, huge.
It's so huge. My lawyer best friend that I met here in one of the classrooms over here, went back to Fresno, and then he moved up to Seattle when I started my first company. But we talk still about ag issues down here and his clients down here. Very unique issues,
Yeah.
I mean, how did I know that you sold dirt and then rent it back, and how they're going to deal with potentially another drought next year and the things that go on. It'd be great to
Don't say another drought.
No. That's what
I'm still crossing my fingers and lying to myself on that one.
And I think we all do. And it's I'm optimistic that things will always work out. But it'd be great to see students have that opportunity. That's just a little bit of edge. It's all you need, and a little bit of inspiration. I mean, as you know, law school is a scary place for students. But that little bit of, I might break out. I might be a little bit different. I can do things, and what you've done, because I've watched a lot. I don't know if it was during the pandemic or when, but I watched a lot of McGeorge videos, and with the students talking, they're excited. You have students that are really excited to be here, and then the students that were talking about why they made the right decision in coming here, so that other students could see that. It's good stuff, and I didn't know if we would get into the conversation on this. You've made me proud to be an alumnus of the school. I remember before you came to this school, I think there was a lot of concern as to where the school was going and whatnot, and you told me what your goals, what your aspirations were, and you believed it. Maybe more than everybody, but you've made us believers, and not only me, alumni, but the administration, professors. So kudos to you to be a part of what you're doing. Even just a small part is a real honor.
Yeah, I would say I've been extraordinarily lucky to work with really great faculty colleagues and senior administration of the law school that is just so committed and engaged with their work. It's just been a dazzling experience. So I think there's a little luck and a little skill in everything, and I definitely will take it, and thank you for your compliment, and just say I had a lot of help. Really good people who really care about our students and their success, and really do feel like everything operates on a personal level. Sort of like what you were saying, where on the one hand, the internet's so big that it's almost anonymous, and at the same time, it's actually all about relationships and connections that you build. And so I sort of feel like that's a little bit of the secret sauce of McGeorge, is that ultimately it's all about the relationships that our staff have with our students, that our faculty have with our students, and then I feel pretty lucky to have a pretty good relationship with our students too.
Anybody that bakes brownies and distributes brownies, you and your wife?
Yep, still doing that, absolutely.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, actually, I've now added cookies to it. We bake cookies for the staff, and I serve it to them. I have small meetings with them, and then for the students, my wife and I bake brownies. So right now, this is the brownie eating season at McGeorge. So I'm busy with that.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
You bet.